Click on it.
So just tell me when you want me to slide through the slides.
Okay. Right, so this is our third Apple Regional Training Centre event. So this will be available, of course, online afterwards, people to revisit, rewind on demand as well. In this session, we're looking at using video for teaching and learning, in particular, focusing on Apple tools, but also apps and sites that can be used in different platforms. We try to be agnostic in terms of what tools we use and in terms of what platforms we use, but we're going to be focusing on 4 or 5 in particular that work really well with Apple technologies, but we'll also signpost to things that can use on others as well. Thank you. Jay, if you can go to the next slide for us. So as Apple Regional Training Centre in Basingstoke, we ordinarily would have you at the college, and we'd be using the iPads and showing you different things. And the invitation is there. I mean, you're welcome to come along and visit us now. Very happy to say. So from June onwards, we can actually entertain and train and coach you on all sorts of different things. Apple tech, but also any other EdTech, using Google Workspace or Microsoft 365 or any other video podcasting app related tools. But for now, we're online, of course. So I'm Scott. I'm a teacher. I teach media, have done for about 12 or 13 years now. And in the last 5 years, I've been training teachers and coaching teachers and working with different subjects across the college, all subjects at our vocational college in the southeast of England. So 5 or 6 years ago, 5 years, I started working with student digital leaders, most of whom are here right now, some of them in particular, who've graduated to become technologists. So we worked with student digital leaders who developed, grew, and helped me to train up staff and students. And that's a program I'm very proud of at the college. It's led to careers and the growth of exceptionally talented young people. It's something that we're very happy to sort of share and to develop in other institutions as well. If you want to work with student digital leaders to grow them into technologists or facilitators, whatever it might be. So I'm a teacher, and that's still really sacred to me, but also I'm in charge of digital learning and training up schools and colleges around the country.
All right, so my name is Bradley Phillips, and I am a flipped learning facilitator at BCoT. So my role mainly is to effectively take classes and try and promote independent learning whilst using technology with them as well.
My name's Jay. I'm a learning technologist apprentice, and my role is similar to Sky's in a way, just a little smaller. I go around to different staff rooms and I help different staff members out with sort of any technology needs that they have. And I also help improve the use of technology in the classroom. And I also help give amazing webinars like this.
Thank you, Jay. So this session is going to focus on video primarily. This stat is quite interesting from Britannica Digital Learning, which sort of contextualizes the reason we chose this sort of theme for our third Apple Regional Training Centre event. So as I'm sure you've noticed, video is quite popular with our target demographic, and leveraging that to enhance teaching, learning and assessment is something we've been doing for the last 5 years at the college to ensure that we are reaching our students where they are, whether that be YouTube, whether that be on screens and tablets, making sure that we are connecting in a way that is most impactful for different subject areas. It's really important to us that we constantly empathy map and talk to our students. Someone like Brad, who's a flipped learning facilitator, talking to students, finding out what apps they like, how they like to learn, what different platforms they're going to. That helps us to get that information as to how best we can meet them and help them to learn in a way that is most suitable and most impactful, as I say, while also working alongside our teachers. Thank you.
All right, so clips, one of my favorite apps that Apple has. If you go to the next slide, please, Jane. Thank you. So yeah, Clips is pre-built into iPhones and iPads. It can be used as evidence for student portfolios as long as you have that clear step-by-step guides on, say, how to do a skin fade on like someone's hair. As a video showing, you can add text, other photos. You can also use it to show your students how to do mini tutorials. There's very versatile tool that I've used. I think I used it once with some hair and beauty girls that really enjoyed it, which I think they then used to show evidence. So they show that they could do that particular task.
I saw one of the girls in the media makeup course using it as well, Brad. You might have worked it with those ladies. In terms of using, because iPhones were favoured by many of our students, 16 to 20-year-old further education students in England, and iPhones, particularly with our female demographic, it skews quite in favour of Apple, actually. And using Clips, a free tool to capture video and image evidence and to make collages, yeah, that's been massively impactful. So that 1 hour flipped learning a week, which Brad, you facilitate, that's a good opportunity for them to develop those skills, definitely. Umgard, you had your hand up earlier on. Apologies, I didn't see when you had your hand up. Would you like to say anything?
I didn't want to interrupt. I just wanted to ask previously, how do you find out what students want? It's not easy, isn't it? Because to be fair, I have a son who is 24 and he knows what he wants exactly. And he always did when I, being much older, tried to suggest what apps to use. It gave me a mild smile and nothing else. So what kind of relation do you have to students to be able to ask them what they want? Because I was just stopped doing surveys with students because they are fatigued by surveys, I was told. So it's not easy to get the right things, is it?
It's a really good question. What I'm going to do is in the chat, I'm going to link you to my Calendly. You can book a one-to-one catch-up with me where I can share in detail the way we do this. So typically, one of the ways we do this is to actually empathy map with the students, sit with them in the classroom to actually find out what they see, what they hear, what they fear, what they're worried about, to find out what is a stress, what is a gain, what their ambitions are. And that helps us to see from their perspective, as it were, getting outside of our own biases. Also working with student digital leaders, people who are right now 16, 17, 18, and actually understanding the way that they access and use different tools and making notes and having them train up staff and fellow students alongside us is something that's crucial in terms of empathizing and showing that hopefully emotional intelligence in listening to the user, as it were, in a design thinking sense. There's lots of different things I'd love to chat with you about that, actually, Umgard. So in the link I've put into the chat, feel free to catch up with me, and I'll share with you some resources and other things. It'd be lovely to talk to you about that in more detail.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, Brad, I got a bit carried away and jumped
That's
into
all right.
please.
No worries. Can we go on to the next slide, please, Jay? Thank you. So on this slide, have one of our hospitality teachers demonstrating or showing students how to cook. I'm not sure what he was cooking. I can't remember now.
Hoisin pot noodles.
Oh, there we go. But this was during lockdown, I think. So obviously, we weren't in like doing face-to-face teaching as we are now. So he was using clips to film and then edit with these, texts, which he then uploaded to Google Classroom, so his students could see the interactive short clips they could then learn from. So clips is obviously much more interactive than say a 10-minute YouTube video, because it's text and it's much more shorter, so you aren't just sitting there for a long period of time. It's there, done, in that clip, done. So I really like clips. I think Justin, who used this, really likes it as well.
And Justin was someone who, by his own admission, was not a techie sort of fella. I know Jay's done some wonderful work since helping him, but it was nice and accessible for him, wasn't it, Brad?
Yeah, it was. I think that's all I have to say for that one, yeah. Yeah, and we also, there is this book that is free that you can get from the iBooks store, Apple Education. Everyone can create video. There's lots of good, useful bits to do with video on there that they can use, obviously for Apple products, which does include clips, iMovie, and so on. Thank you.
This next one I kind of I enjoyed the most because I love the Adobe products. This is Adobe Spark Video, and I've used this on several miniature projects that I've done because it allows me to quickly and almost seamlessly add together all of my videos, all of my photos together in a easy to use navigation menu, and allows me to add in very easy to comprehend voiceovers. Instead of having to use external equipment, I can just use my iPad and hit the record button. And this is very good for if you need to use it for portfolio work, or even creating how-to guides like the one you're seeing on your screen currently. Because I made this guide to help, I believe it was public services, on how to access how to access Adobe Spark page so they could create assignment work. It also allows them to be more creative in the ways that they want to present their work, because of the different themes and how they can lay everything out. It just allows them to have that extra sort of freedom and mobility to present their work in a non-traditional manner.
Jay, that's a really good point about the mobility of it and the adaptability. And in lockdown, when we couldn't have the presentations of our students actually showing us communication skills, using Adobe Spark and recording the voiceover while they put together those slides, and the artificial intelligence of Adobe Spark actually suggests design ideas, doesn't it, as well, which really makes it look nice and slick and professional and helps students to have a nice firm footing for their presentation. So yeah, I agree with you, it is a fantastic tool.
Next is iMovie.
iMovie, yeah, perfect. Next slide, please. So, iMovie, as I'm sure you all know, it's pre-built into all Apple devices for free, so no charge at all. It can be used to create videos that are longer. They want to be longer than, say, clips, and it might require a bit more editing if you want it to as well. And then once you've, say, created your video, you can then export it to YouTube or even Google Classroom. I've used the green screen function a few times with some students just to test it out. I think I used it with some animal management students to be like a weather presenter, which was quite fun. But yeah, I've not used it a lot with students, but I know Jay, you have, haven't you?
I've used it. I've used Premiere Rush more than I have done at iMovie, but it's still, as you said, that green screen aspect allows the students to kind of immerse themselves more in their own work. So as you can see from the GIF, if they're doing something about different planets, then they could actually have it behind them. And it's something I want to start doing more of with some of the travel and tourism students and staff, is to gain the use of green screen to make their work almost come alive more.
Indeed. And it also allows students to gain experience on how to edit as well, with both the green screen function, but also, you know, adding in like music in the background, adding in text. Yeah, you know, I again really like this built-in function as well.
What's nice about that one, Brad, is when you first use it, and times after you've used it the first attempt, it gives you those pop-up bubbles that help you and direct you and give you prompts, which if you haven't used it for a month or two and you forget, it's quite useful. It's quite elegant the way it directs and nudges you towards the next thing to consider. Yeah, really nice tool.
Perfect. Next, please, Jay.
Okay.
This also, the iMovie. Yes, it is also on Macs as well. Yeah.
Can you explain the green screen function, how that works, please?
Yes. So you do have to have a green screen behind you for it to work. It's very simple. I think it does point you to it as well within the actual app. So if you do want to obviously use it, then it will sort of like guide you to it, and ish step by step. Yeah, oh, perfect, lovely. Screen recording. I use this a lot in my own personal time as well. If I want to, you know, send a little like video to my mates or whatever. All right, next slide, please, Jay. So the green screen function. Oh no, screen recording function. That's what I mean. Clips is, you know, pre-built into all devices. Okay. Pre-built into all devices, Apple devices. This can be used in a few different ways. One, it could be used for student feedback, you know, more detailed feedback than just typing things down. You can, you know, pull down on your screen, hit record, go through, say, an assignment, and you can also record your voice, so you can provide personalized student feedback for students. Another thing that you can also do with it is you can record, say, like little YouTube clips and edit those down to show only specific bits from that video, or even bits from movies as well. So, like say, like Netflix, you could take a bit from that and incorporate incorporate that into your PowerPoints when you're teaching. And also students as well, they can incorporate those into their slides for when they're doing
the screen recording, Brad. I was using that today, mate. It was yeah, because I saw your slides earlier on today, of course, and I thought, oh, of course, I can just screen record. I was about to log onto a webcam and record myself looking at their screen, but I thought, why not just use the screen recording tool? And I was reminded of how elegant it was in terms of it saves to the camera roll, doesn't it?
Yes.
And you do it, which is like so nice, so simple.
I think it's like so much easier, in my opinion, than having to like install something to your computer when you've got something, you know, already there for you. Why not use it? It's free.
Yeah, I use it to create tutorials on the iPads. So it's like some of the GIFs you'll see throughout this presentation I recorded yesterday or the couple of days before using the inbuilt screen record function, and it's at that point where it can be used for more than just giving students feedback. You can actually use it to help create videos. Okay, Flipgrid. Now, this is a really, really useful tool that we use in the college. We mostly use it for having that almost staff room or classroom-like aesthetic. Please, if I do say something wrong, Scott, please feel free to jump in. But we kind of have it to keep that sort of classroom environment. And it's something that we've done with the media students this year. It allows them to sort of record mini videos of them talking through their work, and then it allows you to post a video response or a text response, and it just allows to have that almost peer-to-peer genuine feedback that you would get in the classroom. Now, some of the students, they might not want to appear on camera, and that's fine. Flipgrid comes with so many different features where you can do text only, where you can pixelate yourself, or where you can have static images that just appear throughout. And it's a really good and useful tool, in my opinion, to help improve collaboration and communication in the classroom while being separated, because it gives that genuine classroom or genuine staff room-like appeal from the comfort of your own home.
The peer feedback as well, Jay, was really nice to see with this, because in this example we see Izuku post a question, as it were, or yeah, it was a question actually about a roadblock that he'd met on a project, and peers would suggest things, and in a thread underneath you'd see this sort of solution building. Some people can actually record just using their voice only as well. So if you're a bit shy, like I think it's Becky you're about to see pixelated right now, you can pixelate yourself. We had a student called Louis who didn't want to film himself at all, didn't want to use an image either, so just pressed the record button, and that was a way for him to engage as well. We had one student who was very, very shy, didn't want to be on camera or use their voice, so wanted to just type their response. And the truth is, if I was a student, that's probably what I would have done, because I wouldn't have wanted to get engaged too immediately that way, because it was just a bit too much to be in front of my peers speaking like that. I would have built up to it eventually, but as a way to scaffold and differentiate those communication skills, providing that rich toolkit of options for them to decide how they engage. Yeah, Flipgrid's great. I think it's massively underutilized, and we've used it a fair bit this year. Travel and tourism, just one more, sorry. They'd used it as well because the communication skills, the customer service skills, as it were, that they'd missed out on practicing in real life. Using Flipgrid, their wonderful teacher, Mark McKechnie, role modelled best practice. They would respond underneath, and they would do humorous bad examples of customer service and respond underneath. Such a diverse tool, so good.
Next tool on our list is Premiere Rush. As I've said, I've used this before with students, and I use it for myself and other people that I teach at the Adobe products too, because I'm Adobe certified. I use Rush as an introductory tool to video editing, because similar to iMovie, that's the word, iMovie, it allows you to seamlessly put a bunch of clips, audios, images, text together, and allows you to seamlessly edit them all to create a story. And it's easy to use to begin with, but there's so many different nuanced tools that allows you to give your work more life. It is a little bit more complicated compared to iMovie, but it pays off, I believe, in the end more, because it allows you to edit more quicker. It allows you to seamlessly upload to the cloud, so you can have it any way you want. One of the biggest things about the Adobe products is it allows you to create stuff like what you're about to see now, The one on the left is something I threw together yesterday using sample images, well, sample footage. In under 30 minutes, I managed to create this very short couple of second video with color correction, with audio, in a very seamless and timely manner. While, as you can see, Scott on the other side, he did this for his media students. And it just allows us to have that much deeper emotional connection with the students, because it allows us to artistically explain subject matters or assignment briefs, and it allows us to creatively give feedback as well. So it's not just a generic block of text, or it's not just me standing behind the camera talking to you. There could be different elements on the screen that flash up just to keep your attention. And this is something that Adobe Rush is really good at doing. It allows you to add in those aspects very seamlessly without any hassle. Next one is something I really enjoy, and I'm pretty sure all of us use on a daily basis, and that's YouTube. First thing that I want to address when it comes to using YouTube in education is the fact that YouTube has naturally inbuilt 3D videos. If you record something in a 3D, well, with the 3D camera, YouTube will pick it up and put it into a three-dimensional space. I used this really recently, actually on Tuesday, with some of the Future Pathways students that we have in health and social care. And I use it as an introductory to VR. And when I first set up the class, they were quite nervous. They didn't know what was going on. But as soon as I showed them these 360 videos on our iPads, they got really excited, and they were moving around the room with the iPads. They were looking around different scenes. They were going off finding new and amazing 360 videos. And it's at that point of where it allows them to immerse themselves in the video and immerse themselves in the learning. And it's something that I feel most people overlook when it comes to using YouTube in education, is the fact that we have that sort of three-dimensional or 360 aspect that allows the students to become more engrossed in the learning itself. There we go. YouTube's also not just for 360 videos. It can be also used for explainer videos like Scott's, how to set up a storyboard, or in one of our colleagues' cases, how to use import range on Google Sheets. It can also be used to help promote different events you've got going on in college or schools, universities. Anyway, it's just a all-rounder tool that allows you to seamlessly integrate into any lesson, to allow you to have that sort of secondary teacher in a way. Because it's not just us standing in front of the class telling students what to do anymore. We can have some guy on the internet do it for us, while we're giving genuine peer-to-peer, student to staff member or staff member to student feedback that you might not be able to get if you're teaching or talking to a room full of students for half an hour and then having to rush around. It allows us to, if I can manage to load up the next slide, it allows us to also interact with our students, interact with our audience, to allow, similar to Flipgrid, that sort of peer-to-peer communication, that cross-course communication as well. It basically allows us to have that secondary teacher without actually having to put in the work to get a secondary teacher. Because as you can see on the GIF just behind the comment section, you can use it to search for anything, like how to calculate the area of a circle, how to spell or type phonetically. It's an amazing tool that I believe can be overlooked so many times, because of the fact it is that second teacher, and that any student can access it at any time, because everyone on their phone, or at least all of the students on their phones, will have YouTube installed, and they will use it on a daily basis.
That's really interesting, Jay, the way you talk about the second teacher. And I wonder whether it's the egos of us teachers not wanting to admit that actually YouTubers and influencers and these guys creating using new media are actually doing an outstanding, incredible job at teaching people and helping people learn using new platforms. So I know for me in particular, I didn't want to admit for the longest time that actually there's a YouTube who does a lesson that I teach actually probably more effectively than I can do. So why not leverage that and curate and forage for these wonderful tools and use them alongside the bit I can do, which is that human one-to-one coaching that you just mentioned. So by no means is it ever a replacement for a teacher, but certainly an augmentation.
Yeah, I use it a lot with Scott's media students, for those that specialize in photography, because that's one of my specialties. I share with them YouTubers that I found that helped me throughout my courses, that helped me even today. And I say, go home, watch some of their videos, do some of their work, come back, and then we'll look at it together. And I give them feedback on what they've done, so they can go home again, either look at new videos or just build upon what I've said and what they've also watched. It allows that driving creativity, and that pushes forward their motivation and their confidence in what they're learning, be that maths, English, science. And it's just that sort of, it's almost that secondary blanket in a way that allows students to go, okay, if I'm not confident and my teacher's busy, I know YouTube's there to help.
So next one's ClickView. ClickView is similar to YouTube in the sense that it's a repository full of incredible videos. In this instance, largely educational videos that have been curated by the folks at ClickView to help in different subject areas. As you can see in the bottom left-hand corner there, by subject, you can actually filter through to find content that is rich and meaningful in helping you deliver and teach in your particular domain, whether it be maths or childcare. What's nice about a ClickView is that it actually tracks the analytics of how much your students have learnt from engaging with the videos. So our colleagues at City of Glasgow College sort of challenged us really at Basingstoke to up our game. I think we need to have a page like this because it's so good. They've recorded their teachers delivering incredible lessons and content, and their students and any student who's on ClickView can access these wonderful interactive videos that pause at different points and ask a question. And you can't proceed without answering the multiple choice, open-ended, true or false question, whatever it might be. Wonderful, interactive, engaging, immersive videos in teaching and learning. Now, what's good about this is that there are incredible pre-built ones. For example, it's not a topic that's all too familiar to us all this year. Anything relating to mental health has been very much appreciated in terms of helping our students this last year. Videos that are incredibly well produced, high production values are available for students to access on demand. And we as teachers can decide where the hotspots are, or rather where the milestones are in the video, that pause the video, stop it, and ask the student to engage and to show what they've understood. That's something that's incredibly valuable, particularly for independent flipped learning that Brad was mentioning earlier on, that independent digital study that we all now know, if we didn't know before, is an incredibly important part of working in any future industry, working independently with digital skills. Here you can see an overview again of the different subjects that are available, incredibly rich and detailed. And you can also request things from ClickView, a TV clip, a film clip, and more often than not, if you work in education, they will add it to the library. Quite wonderful. English have been using this year. As you can see, wouldn't like me saying this twice next to each other in a sentence, would they? English. They've been using this in the last academic year. And the sentence structure one in particular, Laura from our English team was using with her students to help consolidate a lesson on this topic, to actually pause and to engage the students in this. And as you can see at the top of the screen there, it comes with PDFs as well. Really well designed, accessible PDFs that accompany the lesson. And a lot of these are pre-built, which is fantastic. You can create your own content, of course, add much like you would on YouTube, but there's an incredible array of different tools available. this one in particular is a really good one we need to use next year. I've been meaning to use it this year, but didn't get around to it, but I will this upcoming year on customer service, whether it be barbering, hair and beauty, travel and tourism, or any number of different public-facing courses. Learning using these humorous, interactive, self-marking videos is something that can really enhance the actual face-to-face human teaching and learning, which, again, none of these tools can ever replace a great teacher, ever. These are just tools. That's all they are. And some of them, the ones we're demonstrating and sharing with you here, we've seen to be effective, not just at our college, but the schools and colleges we've supported for the last year as part of the EdTech demonstrator program, where we support different people with different tools. This is an incredibly impactful tool. I had to have a COVID test back in September. I couldn't make it into the physical classroom. So I made a clip view, recorded myself in this room, as you can see, and going through my slides, and I created a clip view with different milestone markers, as you can see there. So the students had to engage, answer the questions, and contribute, as it were. We're a team, we do things together. It's not just the sage on a stage, talking at you. So that helped me to keep the students learning, to have them engage and understand, to revisit points if they needed to, and to actually submit their understanding. Now, what this does, as you can see from this video as well, using Charlie Brooker's antiviral wipe, a satirical show about the media's depiction of the beginnings of COVID-19 pandemic, I can actually add in as many pointers or markers as I want to actually test and try and get my students to think deeply about different contemporary topics. This gives me this rich analytic dashboard, so I can see how many attempts a student has had, I can see when they've attempted it, I can see their success rate as well. Really useful in terms of showing how much effort the students put in, first of all, and also the actual results or gaps in understanding that perhaps I didn't teach well, or perhaps were not clear. It helps me to go back and reflect as a practitioner as to what I need to help with more. So I've been using this for a fair while now, a year or two, and it's incredibly rich, this analytics dashboard, something that we're really happy to help anybody get started with. If you're curious to have a look at ClickView, then feel free to reach out to us and we can help you make use of these wonderful features. Last one then, Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is been around for a while, actually, about 6 or 7 years I've been using it, and you can use any YouTube video. Let's go back to the examples Jay just shared, and you can add them into Edpuzzle and make them a lesson. You can sign up with your academic email address or your personal one if you want. Best to use your academic one, that way you get more teacher features, as it were. And then you get to use YouTube. You get to use the National Geographic video library. You get to use the Khan Academy repository of incredible lessons. And you put your video in, and much like ClickView, you put your milestone markers in, your points where the video stops and asks the student a question. We made some English a couple of years back, which were quite well received in terms of getting the students to think about metaphor, simile, allegory, and so on in the poems and the extracts that were being performed, as it were, on the screen. Really nice and simple to use. Jay's phrase from today, which sticks in my mind, seamless, because it is nice and seamless. Teachers haven't got time to worry too much about the complexities of really detailed editing software. Simple, drag and drop questions, microphone voice notes can be added as well. And much like ClickView, as you can see on the screen now, you get that dashboard, as it were, those analytics of who is getting it, who perhaps needs some extra help. So Edpuzzle is well worth considering. It's an incredible bank of pre-made resources, and teachers have shared this for free in Edpuzzle. Collaboratively, the hive mind of the internet has curated these wonderful tools. Now, the Khan Academy is the one to beat for me. I think they're explainer videos are outstanding, and our engineering students and math students have been using them in the last year. Really, really powerful. And a lot of them are pre-built with the questions as well. So you can just add it to your workspace and send it to your students via Classroom, Teams, or whatever platform you're using. Okay. That brings to an end this event. So I just want to reiterate while I've got you here, I'm going to put this link into the chat. We're available to help people with support, free support from the Department for Education, who are kindly backing us to help other schools and colleges to try different things, to help people learn in different ways. If you want free peer-to-peer support for an entire year, all you've got to do is fill in that quick form. It takes about a minute to fill it in, about 4 questions, and we can help you. We'd love to be an extension of your team. Come and see you maybe in real life, or you can come and see us in real life at Basingstoke, and we can work collaboratively to try using video, but also other EdTech as well. Okay, if you've got any questions, that's Brad and Jay's email and Twitter. If you're trendy and you're on Twitter, feel free to get in touch with us there, and we'll collaborate and talk and share with you. It's really important that we continue to do this, and we love sharing things with people. So the email is there for you to reach out, but equally, you can reach out to us on Twitter as well. Next week, we've got another session on mathematics with the wonderful Joe Williams, and how he's leveraged iPad, Jamboard, Google Tools, Apple Pencil, and numerous other tools. A new one called Mathboard as well, which is really exciting. He wants to share with other maths teachers and other people who teach anything relating to mathematics. One last thing. We can help you to become, thank you, Amgad, see you later, a creative bunch of people. That's nice. Thank you very much. It's very sweet. Let's become an Apple teacher then. Feel free to click through relatively quickly here, Jay or Brad, so we can help you to become an Apple teacher. It's a really nice self-marking program that you can actually go through online or using your iPad or any Apple tech to actually help you get badged up to become official, as it were. Really helped me to feel like I was confident using things like GarageBand, Numbers, and I particularly liked learning about tools like Pages, which I didn't know about before doing this. So it actually gives you self-marking feedback on your competence and understanding as to how to use tools such as iMovie. And it gives you your certificate at the end. You can actually go through this multiple choice self-marking program, gives you the free books as well, to actually go through and practice and to test yourself and to play. But we can help you with that as well. If you want help becoming an Apple teacher, you can get in touch and we're happy to work with you remotely, in a chat group, or even in real life. Imagine that. So if you want to be an Apple teacher, please get in touch. It'd be lovely to work alongside you. Nice to see some people. I just want to see some people. The Apple teacher books are really nicely designed. Of course they are. It's Apple. They're really nice and completely free. Well worth having a look at. Okay. That brings to a conclusion this event. Thank you everyone for popping by, and get in touch if you need anything at all. Brad, Jay, thank you.
That's right. Thanks for joining, everyone.